Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Geek Yogurt Podcast. I am Knock,
Rah-rah.
I'm Wave.
and it's a smorgasbord again because
Sam is AWOL.
Bastard. He's got to be grocery shopping.
for his mom.
Loser.
Ooh, awesome! Darkman trilogy.
Yeah, totally not in that case.
Oh.
It's DVD of G.I. Joe
Justice-
Retaliation and Blu-ray of Justice League War.
Yeah.
I have it at home. But, anyways. Other than
Dashed my hopes.
Other than Knox ooh shiny moment when he saw the case from my Darkman trilogy.
It's Darkman
Yes. Sam Raimi's a genius and is amazing, and oh my god.
and Liam Nielsen.
Well, yes. He's there too, I guess. He's okay.
Yeah, Raimi. Right. Okay. So, where do we want to start? We want to start. You just watched a zombie movie. What was it?
Burying the X.
Burying the X.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it's a zombie comedy
Okay.
with Anton Yelchin in it.
I came across that on Netflix. It's in my queue. I haven't watched it yet. There's so many other things to watch first. So, how was it?
Well, I referenced it way back in like our earlier episodes.
That
Oh,
we
yeah.
started talking about like zombie comedies,
Mhm.
like with iZombie coming out, sort of like a weird it's the apocalypse. Why are we doing comedies? But it was actually okay. It wasn't certainly a fave. I mean, Anton Yelchin probably kind of plays the same character in every movie. Odd Thomas was awesome.
What else was he in?
Odd Thomas.
No, the other one. Oh, Odd Thomas was the other movie he was in?
Yeah.
Anything else?
He's done like bit parts. Like he was in an episode of Criminal Minds
Okay.
where he played a potential serial killer type guy.
All right.
It was a sad little episode, and he's done like other little movies where he plays the same sort of like meek, sort of like under the undercurrents, kind of like crazy kind of guy. But off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what he's done. But when I say he plays the same character, I'm referencing those other two things in that movie. And I thought it was pretty good. Wasn't great. But it was good. It's a rom-com, I would think, a zombie rom-com. But I just wanted to touch base with that and say it was good. That's all. And if you have an opportunity to see it, it's on Netflix. If you like that sort of thing.
IMDb gave it a 5.3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was in Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He plays Chekhov. He plays Chekhov in the new Star Trek franchise. I knew there was something.
Fright Night, Terminator,
Oh, good. He's 17.
No, he's probably like 30 or something.
No, I was quoting Bones.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I guess he's pretty active.
He's real active. Smurfs 2.
Oh my God.
He played Clumsy Smurf.
That's it. It's all done now. Don't see this shithole movie.
So,
What
okay.
the fuck is wrong with you people?
It's Smurfs.
So, I mean, he's got quite the resume on IMDb. So, okay. But it was a apocalyptic rom-com.
No, it wasn't apocalyptic at all. It was
Okay.
it's just like, I'm talking like Walking Dead, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Z Nation,
right.
where it's like all dour and basically nobody has fun and nobody smiles.
So it's
I
kind
love
of
those
like
shows, by the way.
like Zombieland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
even like Zombieland, except even lighter in
Ooh.
tone.
Huh, I might
So-
have to check this out.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I still need to see Warm Bodies. I've heard good things about that one.
I still need to see that too.
But yeah, and as far as your question about, well, it's the apocalypse, why are we doing lighthearted stuff about it?
Yeah.
Because it's the apocalypse. Like, that's the entire reason why to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because why does, even finding humor in the darkest of times is probably one of the most basic human things we have as far as storytelling. I mean, think of how many people, myself included, I will freely admit, humor is my biggest defense mechanism. Like, think of how many people in the most gruesome moment will be cracking a joke. Because that's the only way they can cope with it. And on a mass civilization scale, when you're looking at, because, I mean, let's be honest, we're always about, I mean, the doomsday clock is at what? 2 minutes to midnight here?
On a regular basis, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're always so close to an actual apocalypse, be it nuclear war, be it another world war that will end the world. Shit like that, you know what? Having a moment where like, hey, it might not be so bad if zombies took over.
Monthly disease outbreaks.
Hell yeah. I mean, it'd be right up there with, I can't name any off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist. Zombie apocalypse movies that aren't necessarily comedies, but are like, yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse, let's kick some ass. Left 4 Dead actually does that.
Yeah.
Let's kick some ass, it's a zombie apocalypse. Shit like that.
Well, even the Romero movies had lighthearted in the mall, the original.
The Kmart moment.
Yeah.
Blue light special on aisle 7.
Them going through the mall, killing these zombies. Oh shit! He was a special effects artist, swinging off a rope with a hammer in hand, taking a zombie's head off. Those are lighthearted moments in a bleak world.
But no one said. I'm not saying that isn't possible. I mean, even The Walking Dead has moments where these survivors, which basically that show drills into your head is what they are, the survivors, smile. But what I'm saying is, in terms of tone of this film, it doesn't have that same tone.
Okay.
So it's not supposed to be taken as serious as say that show. So that when I say it's more of a rom-com that's lighthearted and has a light tone, that's what I mean. I'm not saying no one should crack a joke in a movie like that. I'm saying the movie's designed that way.
You're saying it's a comedy first, an apocalypse movie second.
Right.
Which is basically what Zombieland was also.
Right.
And actually, I just thought of another great reason for doing this and why some people do. Because, especially for a comedy, the juxtaposition is amazing. Because you think the zombie apocalypse, you don't necessarily think happy-go-lucky moments.
Right.
And that juxtaposition where, we're cracking jokes, we're doing this shit, well, there's looming death outside.
Right. But it's not. The film isn't post-apocalyptic. It takes place in our time, in our current thing, and it's just a matter of supernatural intervention that makes the girlfriend a zombie.
Oh, okay.
So she's like the only one.
Oh, okay.
So,
that sounds really cool.
Dylan Dog-esque.
Never saw that, but in Things You Might Like, that came up after I saw it. So.
Oh, Dylan Dog's back on Netflix?
It was a net search.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, that's a good movie. You should check that one out. It's Brendan Roth.
Yeah.
Is in it.
The Atom.
Yep. We're not getting into the Atom.
He's going to shrink soon. He's going to shrink soon.
Technically, he already did.
No, he did not. We do not know this. The trailer does not count as him having already done it.
No. The last episode of Arrow, he shrunk when the building blew up.
We do not know that for certain.
We saw him. He's a hulking beast of a man, and he gets smaller.
When do we see him get smaller?
At the end, right before it blows up.
See, I just see it. I never saw him get smaller.
Yeah,
You weren't paying attention.
I didn't see him get small either.
Yeah, I saw him messing with the equipment, and then they cut to the outside of the building and it explodes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it could be implied he gets smaller, but,
Sometimes Knox sees things, so we have to sort of like guide him a little bit. Like,
Or you
that's a
can
hole, that's
just
a door, that's a lion.
Take my word
Lions.
for it. Or go check it out.
Tigra.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming out the 29th.
Yep.
Next season starts.
For Secret Warriors.
For Secret
Fuck
Warriors.
yeah. And, I'm hoping we get the Secret Warriors. I want little 10-year-old Phobos, god of fear, with his daddy's battle axe. His daddy is Ares, by the way.
Yeah.
I want that happening in the show.
Okay.
Stonewall, the son of the Absorbing Man. Slingshot, who I can't remember who her father was. But, because they were all children of supervillains.
Yep.
And their powers transferred to them?
Some yes and no. Phobos is the god of fear, because god of fear. As far as... There was a transference of of sorts as far as absorbing man to Stonewall. But I believe, if I remember correctly, Stonewall can just do stone.
Okay.
But he doesn't need to be touching it, really. He could just go, boom, I have a rock body.
Well, he's not floating, so technically he is standing on rock.
True. Yo-Yo Rodriguez. I believe that was her last name, was Rodriguez. I know her first name's Yo-Yo. Her code name is Slingshot. She can run at super speeds, but as soon as she stops, she snaps back to the place that she started at.
Huh.
Yeah. So they called her Slingshot.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and at first she's kind of like, and a lot of people that I've talked to have been like, well, what the fuck's the point of that power? But Nick Fury, brought her in, which means he brought her in for a reason. This is classic Fury, too. This is boots on the ground, Nick Fury. And some shit she has done. Nick needed to have a little discussion with Maria Hill when Maria Hill was acting director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, as Maria was about to get in her car, Yo-Yo runs up and grabs her. And suddenly she's back. And suddenly Maria winds up back in a warehouse about 8 blocks away.
Oh. I thought it would be something like, like she could say, grab you by the arm, and then when she snaps back, like tear your arm off.
No. Because of the force. It's one of those, the force is enough where your entire body would go instead of your arm coming off. But she has also been used for scouting missions, because all she has to do is stop running for half a second. And boom, she's back where she started and can relay all the information. We have Druid, who is the son of Dr. Druid, who can create portals. Small portals. And he has some magical ability. Their main portal person is now known as Manifold, who he's now a member of the Avengers, Eden, who can create a portal between any 2 points in space. All he needs to know is some frame of reference of where to put it. Like, at one point, Nick just gives him latitude and longitude and says, put it there. Let's see here. Oh, there was Hellfire. How could I forget Hellfire? Fucking bastard. He's the son of Vengeance, the Ghost Rider villain, who's basically Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
He can channel Hellfire into objects. He mostly fights with a chain. And, yeah, traitorous douchebag.
I'm starting to remember these. What was the little kid that liked to play video games?
That was Phobos.
Phobos?
That was Alex. Yeah, that was touching after both him and Ares died. Ares got ripped in fucking half from head to crotch by Sentry during Siege.
Oh.
Yeah, Phobos took a Gorgon to the face. Not the Inhumans Gorgon, but the Hydra hand Gorgon, the Samurai Gorgon. Yeah, he took a God Killer sword to the face.
Well,
yeah.
I guess it was its title, its namesake.
Yeah. And then he saw his dad in heaven, and the two of them had a moment, and it was kind of cool. But yeah, no, I am totally excited because that was such an awesome arc. Jonathan Hickman wrote that series. Brian Michael Bendis helped create a bunch of the characters, including Quake. So I'm hoping they take a lot of inspiration and it translates well into S.H.I.E.L.D. Last season was phenomenal. It blew season 1 out of the water. And I know people had issues with season 1. I did not. I liked it, especially the second half. Season 2 blew it out of the water. I'm hoping season 3 blows season 2 out of the water.
So, on the topic of Quake, what did you think of her new uniform?
Oh, it's perfect. Like, I can't think of anything else. I actually have a picture pulled up right now of it. I can't think of anything I would want to do to it legally. I saw the look Knock was giving me. No, I can't think of any changes I would want to make because it looks almost identical to the Secret Warriors S.H.I.E.L.D. style outfit that was worn.
Only it's gray instead of blue.
Actually, in the
Secret Warriors was black.
In the 2000s, all of S.H.I.E.L.D. went black with it.
Okay.
The only difference is it doesn't have the white stripe, the white harness stuff going on.
And white gloves.
Or the white gloves.
Well, she has gauntlets.
Yeah, she has her gauntlets.
So you can't
but either way, I don't know if the white would be necessary with this.
Right.
And this is the one time where you can get away with the black tactical outfit and make it look appropriate.
Unlike John Diggle.
No, John Diggle to me still looked appropriate. No, that was an underhanded jab at the fucking X-Men franchise because they can go fuck themselves. Because no, Cyclops should not be wearing a black tactical outfit. Neither should Wolverine when he's being an X-Man.
What'd you expect? Yellow spandex?
Yes. These fuckers.
So, yeah, I mean, Quake's outfit looks good. The only thing I was really looking for was to make sure she actually had the gauntlets. Outside of that, because the S.H.I.E.L.D. universe, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe, most of the people are in suits or civilian clothes to begin with. You don't really see the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in their jumpsuits, so I wasn't expecting to see her in a full S.H.I.E.L.D. jumpsuit to begin with. So I'm okay with it.
I don't know. I thought it looked kind of boring, actually, because and this is like, in all honesty, when I saw that article, I just out of curiosity, because I'm not following Shield at all, I clicked it, and I thought I was looking at Black Widow's costume.
It's very close,
at first glance.
But that also makes sense because think about Black Widow is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yeah, but it shouldn't make sense by organization. It should make sense because of association of who they're with. And I'm thinking, like, if they were both on screen at the same time, I think it would be confusing to see them, in a situation because there isn't anything really distinguishing about either one of them.
Well,
I mean, I understand. Red hair. I understand narratively why they do it because they're both in the same place. But I'm just saying, once again, I think costuming becomes an issue with some of these movies, like the Diggle costume.
Isn't that saying that that's an issue with any group that would use a uniform? I mean, don't you
But she's not. Well, this is my point. It's like Black Widow has the Widow thing and her gauntlets and stuff because she's special. She's not a typical S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, which is why the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents like Maria Hill in the movies
wear what Sky's wearing.
Wear that stuff. She's different. She's special. We got
Hence
to highlight
the gauntlets.
that. We have to highlight that.
Hence the
and
gauntlets.
I think they kind of dropped the ball.
Once again, hence the gauntlets.
Yeah, and I'm looking at stuff, and I don't know if this is just fan art, but I just think it would have been much better if she had something like that.
That was Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
That was that cartoon. She wore that costume. Mm-hmm. Ra-Ra's holding up a picture of the black and orange Quake costume.
I'll put it up.
I mean, that's honestly kind of unique.
See, here's the thing. To me, that looked like shit. I did not like the design of that costume at all. Mm-hmm. And
well, I'm only saying that it would be better because at least it highlights the uniqueness of this character and why we should care about her other than say S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent 459.
Yeah, but but the other reason why we should care about her because we have 2 fucking seasons of we should care about her.
Right. Right.
And we're also not generally going to be seeing her so far as unless things change drastically, we're not going to be seeing her with a ton of similarly dressed S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Right. Like her and Melinda May might be dressed relatively the same, just May won't have the gauntlets. Mm-hmm. But that also makes sense. May is her SO. May trained her.
Well, I know all this. I'm just saying that I know they're all in the same
and
organization.
Also, bright orange on a stealth op is a horrible idea.
Just like a police captain's uniform, their ceremonial uniform is similar to a regular uniform for other guys.
Well, this also won't be a ceremonial uniform. This would be an operational in the field.
Just a difference maybe in pips or badges or anything like that. I understand it. It's all organizational. They're the same. Yeah. I'm just saying, for an opportunity to do something different, to make some kind of statement, I think costuming, just like with the Diggle outfit, I think they dropped the ball on it. I think it would have been much better if they did something more along the lines of the Avengers, where you can tell by looks who's different and who's not the same.
Yeah, I think you're still going to be able to do that here. Because like I said, I highly doubt
it's a difference of opinion, Wade, because you're saying that they look the same because they're in the same organization, but they're different because they're in the same organization and they're different.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I highly doubt, other than May, I highly doubt Fitz and Simmons are going to be wearing an outfit similar to this.
Right.
Or that Mockingbird will.
Because they're different. Because
Mockingbird
they're allowed to wear
right. Okay, I highly doubt Hunter or Bobby are going to. I highly doubt Hunter, Bobby, Coulson, and actually I think that's roughly it for the team because, well, if Mac sticks around. But Mac would be under the mechanic's idea. He's a mechanic. But yeah, I highly doubt Hunter or Bobby are going to dress like this.
Bobby has a similar uniform, but hers fits more of the Mockingbird
Yeah,
character.
hers
She's
looks a
got
lot
the
more like
black
Mockingbird.
and dark gray instead of the black and white, or the blue and white.
I mean, and like I said, my biggest thing why I love this is she looks like Quake. I mean, to me, something different just to make it stand out and be like, hey, look, I'm different, would basically be like saying down to Iron Man 1 and seeing him in a bright blue and pink polka dot armor just because it's, hey, look at me. I mean,
I'm
like,
pretty sure he
let's
has
not be
one of those.
hyperbolic here and say something ridiculous like that.
okay, fine.
okay,
Him
we've
in a
seen-
blue and green armor.
Because we've seen, as you've mentioned, this type of costume through the whole X-Men series, through all of Bryan Singer's stuff.
Which has
We've seen
no
all this
relation
stuff.
to this.
Yeah, but we've seen it all before, is what I'm saying. We've seen it all before. Why don't we do something different?
Because we want to do something that makes sense for the character. See, that's the problem. The problem is when you have shit like Bryan Singer's X-Men, where it doesn't make sense for them to dress like this. It doesn't fit for the characters. It doesn't fit for what that universe is, what that part of the universe is.
Right.
Even. But for this, it makes sense that the paramilitary organization is going to have military-looking costumes, especially on a Black Ops team. Which, even after the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's what Coulson's team was. Even more so after the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. was Black Ops. This is something that will blend in. And Widow's is logical. Widow's is also leather.
Right.
It's also more leather style. It's shinier.
Yep.
I thought it looked more like denim. Maybe that was just from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, from Iron Man 2, it was more.
It was more. It wasn't like leathery.
Yeah, but into the Avengers movies, it becomes like a pleather.
Yeah.
It's shiny compared to the Iron Man 2 suit that she had on. Even in Captain America 2, when she actually wore the suit, it was the shiny material. So.
And just so everybody knows, I have these same issues with the Arrow show too. In Red Arrow or Arsenal's costume.
I
Thea's.
have similar and varying.
It looks like just Ollie's spray painted with a few more laces.
It pretty much was.
If you
And
can
it's-
define them with their look as well as with narration, why not do it?
It's funny that Roy and Thea are the same size.
I mean, their costumes obviously aren't exactly the same because they're different people, but it's pretty close.
Yes, but in
So.
the span of time between her deciding to do this and actually showing up, there wasn't enough time to.
She blatantly
retailer-
just put his on.
Yeah, they didn't. She didn't have enough time to retailer the suit.
Yeah.
One to fit her, and two to look different altogether. It was pretty much just grab and go, and
Right.
She must have been getting one hell of a wedgie from it.
It fit her way too nicely.
I actually didn't say that yet.
Looking at them side by side, Roy's and Thea's costumes are different. The jacket tops are different. But again, it's just basically red, black leather when you're moving.
It
It's all the
is,
same.
and again, in the span of time of her deciding to don the costume and actually going to help out, there wasn't enough time. Realistically, there wasn't enough time for her to completely retailer the suit.
Right.
So, I'm starting to have issues with Arrow in general.
I mean,
Back to Quake, yeah.
with Quake, I wouldn't mind if she got a shorter haircut that looked more like Quake's hair.
Yeah, the
At the
pixie
same
cut.
time, I don't mind because this is the way that we're used to seeing her.
Right.
I do want to do a quick side note on the whole Quake Sky thing, and I just want to get it on record just how fucking annoyed I am about. All right, I play HeroClix, which I think has come up a few times by now.
It's been,
So the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. set came out, which awesome. I've been collecting. I'm down to. I need the super rare original Sin Nick Fury from it. Anyways, they put Quake in the set with the white S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform. It's basically flip the colors of your standard S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform.
Yeah.
So it's a white jumpsuit with black stripes and stuff. They put her in, and they put Sky in.
two different characters?
As two different characters. Real name, Sky. Real name, Daisy Johnson. And that annoys me to no end. Because
that doesn't seem to make
even
sense.
in the comics,
Yeah.
Daisy is Sky.
Yeah.
She winds up getting Sky as a second nickname, as a personal nickname instead, as opposed to a code name. She gets it, I believe, during the recent Winter Soldier series. I still have to read, but according to comments that happened during the Shield series, that's what leads me to believe that.
Have you read that one shot yet?
Is that comic book or
yeah, that's a comic. That's a comic book version. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what series. I haven't seen that costume on Quake. Again, even still, I like that she's classic Quake.
There it is.
Huh. But it doesn't say when.
Right. It's just the other picture had motion blur on it.
Eh.
So that one looks a little more.
It looks more like Avalanche, and I don't like that fact. Like, I like the fact that this costume, you look at it and it screams Shield.
Right.
Because Daisy is a Shield girl.
Right.
Ever since Nick Fury got her, put her in, raised, had her raised up through the ranks, helped her, trained her. She did her Secret Warrior stuff on the side. She later became director of S.H.I.E.L.D. The youngest.
Very short-lived.
Yeah. Relatively short-lived. I mean, she had it for a good amount of time. Up until she sanctioned an assassination on a political... It was the scientist supreme of AIM, okay? The guy had it coming, and it turned out it wasn't even fucking him that Junior shot.
Right.
So, there was that. And, I mean, she's out doing her own shit now, so, there's that. But she was the youngest director of S.H.I.E.L.D. ever. Yeah, Daisy. Gotta love some Daisy. So, yeah. Fun.
So we hit movies, we hit the only upcoming show that's relevant.
Oh, you guys. You and your nonsense. I suppose I should throw a plug in here for Gotham Season 2 starting on
By the way, just hurry up, you get 10 seconds.
So,
9, 8, 7.
I don't know.
6.
I mean, the trailers all look good. I mean, the vacuum left by the mobsters being taken out is going to be filled. It looks like anyway from trailers and chatter by the villains. The villains rising up. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, I'd like to see how it turns out. I mean, like I say in all these podcasts about this specific show. The first half of season 1 was not good. Second half of season 1 really righted the ship. They did what they needed to do as far as cutting down on a lot of the cheese. I knew from the beginning and from our first podcast on this subject that it wasn't going to be a canon show at all, that they're doing their own thing. So it doesn't bother me that they're introducing some of these characters well before they actually make their way into the comic canon timeline. So I'm just anxious to see how they weave it all together.
Okay. I think literally the only reason why here are the only 2 reasons why I would watch this show. One, because we're going to be talking about it here, so I should keep up on it.
Uh-huh.
He'll fill us in.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, sorry, I think that's it. I know I had another reason going into that, and I can't remember what it was, which means it must not have been important enough, and yeah, I literally think it's just to talk about here, or because of Trainwreck effect. Oh, no, sorry. The other reason was, I do remember the other reason. I'm bored on Hulu. I'm bored. I'm on Hulu. I've caught up on all my shows. Fuck it. Whatever. Put on Gotham as background noise.
Well, just as an aesthetics plug, I mean, the show is beautifully shot. There's lush colors where it needs to show where the underbelly is and the opulence of that area. It gets dark where it needs to be. When they go through the Narrows and into the Arkham areas, I mean, it's just really well put together.
To me, the entire thing looks like it got hit by a grit gun.
Well, but that's just not the case. I mean, it's just you can look at it and the color palette is just kind of, it's muted like all sorts of shows of this nature are, like Walking Dead and some of the Nolan films. But where it needs to pop, it does. And the actual overview of the city is I'll just keep saying, it's just amazing. The way they actually build Gotham, the way that Burton built Gotham. It's this vast, sprawling...
Burton's Gotham, I look at, I see Gotham. This, I look at, I see generic City B.
Well, it has to be...
well, that's
It has to be realistic. No, I'll
it has
give
to be realistic, but it's just the scale of it is just amazing. It's like bigger than like New York City and LA combined with the panoramic shots. So I don't know how you see that wave, but you know, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion on it. But man, I think they got the city right. The stuff that's wrong in it is the character interplay, which I think they fixed halfway through. I just hope they stay on that.
I don't know.
But
Those
it's
trailers
already
don't
been
give me hope
announced
for
it's
that.
going to be the rise of the villains.
Mhm.
They're going to rehash what they did in the first half of the first season. Just keep bringing villains in. And then, even as you said, the second half, they got more into the mobster scene and the mafia scene.
Right.
And that's when it picked up. So,
Mhm.
from what everything says, if the villains are all coming back to fill the
Well, I think
mafia
that's-
void,
I think that's a leap knock that I don't know that you can make. By villains filling the void, I mean the Penguin getting a more of a mob boss role as opposed to a toady.
And the Joker coming in.
The
and-
Joker was already there midway through the first season. I think what's going to happen there is like his interactions with people in Arkham, which is going to be a little more
well,
played on this time around, as
The-
opposed to just being a place.
the little bit that I did see, it looks like they're going to hash his story out more.
Mhm.
So it's unnecessary in my eye,
Mhm.
and it just
Well, I know that Sam has a problem with that too because he likes the idea of the Joker having
Yeah.
no origin. But based on all that, we know that you can't look at this show through that lens because they're not following that canon anyway.
They're not
just like you
following any
approach
canon.
True.
Just like you approach any of these comic book genre films and TV shows, if you're a comic purist, they're all shit.
Well, yeah, but here's the
It's
thing.
how you handle it and how you handle the rewrites and the directions that you go.
But here's the thing. You can acknowledge that it's different and still not like the change.
Of
You
course.
can't say that just because this was changed,
Right.
that it has to be good because it's its own thing.
No, because
Like-
it's all on how you handle it.
Yeah, like that, and that's the thing. Like, I can look at their version of the Riddler and go, I don't like this version.
Sure.
Sure, it's different.
Mhm.
Sure, and yes, it's not like the Riddler I like,
Right.
but that's also a problem. It still has an association,
Mhm.
and I don't like that version of it.
Right.
It's just like there are comic book versions of the Riddler I don't like.
Right.
Hell, actually, a great example: the Ultimates universe.
Mhm.
I like two characters in the entire Ultimates universe, which I think is 90% of my problem with the movies. But and that yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
so
That's what's going on.
all right. Before we close, I got one quick plug. I want to do. I got into a new webcomic recently. It's been around for a few years, apparently. It's called Girl Power, GRRL Power. It's girlpower.com, spelled with the GRRL.
I'll put
Oh.
a link
Yep.
in the description.
It's written by David Barrick, and if you like superheroes comics, read this. It's essentially what if superheroes showed up in this world, and it takes some interesting views on heroes. It's lighthearted with some good seriousness in there. Like, there's a lot of comedy in it, but at the same time, there's a lot of good, serious moments. There is a fight scene in a parking lot with about 30 villains and about 15 heroes. That is phenomenal. Great, giant-ass fight scene. And, yeah, a lot of really cool power ideas. Quickly, there's one named Harem. She can teleport herself and leave one of her behind. She can have up to 5 bodies out this way, and while they each receive in stimuli and everything separately, there is one intelligence behind it.
So it's kind of like Multiple Man.
No, because I believe his can actually fully operate without them. He does not. It is not one like hive mind controlling them, controlling his.
Mm-hmm.
With hers, it is. Like, they can carry on different conversations, but it's still her mind dictating how each of those conversations go.
Okay.
And when she unteleports one of herself, she gets more powerful. which when there's only 4 of her out, she's twice as strong as a normal human. When there's 5, she's a normal 19-year-old girl. 4, she's twice as strong. 3, she's 4 times as strong. 2, 16. And yeah. And like that's just a really cool idea, and the way that works. And by the way, she doesn't like unteleporting herself because she describes it as it's like walking around with one eye and one ear closed off to the world, to her, because she's used to taking in senses from 5 different bodies. And that's really cool, and she's one of the side characters. I'm going to let you discover Sydney and Maxima for yourself. But yeah, so girlpower.com, fucking amazing. Gets Wave Seal of Approval. Check it out. It's so good.
There you go.
Alright, I guess that wraps up this episode of Geek Yogurt Podcast. I'm Knock.
Rah-rah.
And
That's
Wave.
what it was.
Wow, way to go, jackass.